1, 2, 3, 4.
What up, y'all? Babylon 5 Podcast. It's your boy, Jermaine Babbles. How you doing? Episode 41. Oh, shit, I'm in the wrong notes. Oh, wait, okay. I know what I was doing. What I was doing was I was trying to copy over the social medias. And then I just stayed in the old notes. I just want to say something. Nasal spray has changed my life, ladies and gentlemen. My life was one way before nasal spray, before I realized the sweet, sweet magic of nasal spray. Ladies and gentlemen, what you may not know about Jermaine Event is I'm relatively stuffy most of the time, especially with seasonal allergies or whatever I thought was wrong with me. Well, my nose was always dry. See, when I was a young boy, when I was just a wee boy, I would always get fucking nosebleeds, especially in the summer. Like, my nose was always just, like, super fucking dry. And I would get stuffy, and I, like, basically just assume that I can't really, like, I have no sense of smell. Unless something is, like, really pungent, I can't smell it. Like, my wife will talk about certain things. Was y'all vibing with that count in? Hell yeah. She sounds like a cool girl, doesn't she? She is a cool girl. Shout out to my wife. She's a cool woman, you know? Cool woman. But yeah, she will always talk about like how something, if the room smells a certain way or we go somewhere, maybe flowers or something, like, oh, they smell so good. And it's like, dude, I don't smell a single thing most of the time. I just always, most of my life, like, I just never really could smell anything. I was either stuffy or even without that, like, I just couldn't smell. But, so, I got this nasal spray. Why? Just because I was stuffy as fuck. And I saw it. So I used to use just simply what was it, like saline solution or some shit? Whatever it was, that's all I would use because I would see these fucking medicated nasal sprays. And I'm like, fuck nah. I ain't using nothing with no medicine. And I just saw like nasal spray at the grocery store and I grabbed the box and I used it. Matter of fact, I wanted to use it real quick. Hold on. Pardon me. But I grabbed it. Let's see how long this cord is. Yeah, it's long enough to go with me. Come with me. So I grabbed it. But my headphones aren't long enough. Hello? Yeah, so I grabbed it and I just fucking bought it. And instantly, my nose, like, cleared up. Like, all of a sudden I could breathe through my nose. Like, I can't even ever remember breathing through my nose. I think I even talk a little different when I'm able to actually fucking breathe. Just fucking nasal spray. What is this shit? I'm looking at it. I ain't gonna say this fucking whatever company. But I just saw nasal spray and I just used to use the fucking non-medicated shit. But this shit says like fast-acting relief of like nasal congestion, sinus congestion, sinus pressure, swollen nasal membranes, which I think might actually be the issue here. Because I usually can't smell anything, but in a second I should be. Sorry, that's probably pretty unpleasant. But I fucking made you guys send through like 10 bells last week. I'm like, that must have sounded terrible. I didn't listen back to it, unfortunately. I listened to some parts of it. I was trying to, like, upload clips to Instagram, but the certain ways that I used to, I'm not able to do that anymore. The way that I used to upload the clips. I don't know what's going on with the website that I used to use. Maybe whoever shut it down. But I'm not able to make the clips like I used to. I feel like there's a big difference in the way that I sound right now after I sprayed my nose than how I was just previously talking. I feel like it's night and day, personally. I'm gonna go ahead and give you niggas the social medias since you want them real bad. Since you're always hitting me up like, nigga, please tell me the social medias. Don't go on these babbles without giving me the social medias first. But I gave you one. And now I'm going to give you the social medias. If you want to follow the podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. If you want to follow my personal account on Instagram and Twitter, it's at My Name's Jermaine. If you want to email the podcast, it's Babylon5podcast@gmail.com. If you want to follow this podcast, if you're a doll, or maybe you're a troll, who knows? But if you're a doll, maybe you want to go and follow the podcast at babylon5.podbean.com. You can listen to this podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, nigga, pretty much anywhere podcast stream. All right, buddy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You can listen to it anywhere. Anywhere you want to listen. Anywhere you want, girl. I know you seem to like it. Anywho. But yeah, you can listen to this podcast anywhere, you know? If you're listening to this podcast right now, well, you're listening to it somewhere. And you can listen to it there again every week, every Monday, or any day that you want to listen to it. It's always available. You can go back and listen to old podcasts that you didn't hear. Pissy Drunk. I don't know if you guys have heard Pissy Drunk. Maybe you're a new fan. But if you haven't heard the episode Pissy Drunk, where I go into like my really most drunk fucking moments in my youth, it's pretty wild shit, you know? I'd say go check out Pissy Drunk. That was like the most popular episode so far, actually. Like, that had a lot of traction. Motherfuckers were all about that episode. That really gave me the confidence where I was like, nigga, you doing something. Nigga, you doing something. Nah, nickel. I see you, homeboy. I see you, homeboy. Yeah. If you niggas got Xbox One. If you niggas got Xbox One, I haven't, since I said I was thinking about PS5 or the new Xbox Series X, I haven't looked at that video again to really make a decision. But if you niggas got Xbox One, you can go ahead and add a brother. My gamer tag is SaucedBoss414. You can go ahead and check out the merchandise at teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. You can watch me play with myself at twitch.tv/Babylon5. Now that I just said that, I realized that I haven't played Dragon Ball Z Kakarot in a little bit. I played it the one time and I was like, yo, it's kind of cool. And if I get into this, like, I'll be able to get all the combinations down and like do Kamehamehas. I mean, hopefully, I haven't looked into the game too much. I just want to play it. I'm pretty sure I can hopefully eventually play with Vegeta. So I'd much rather level up Vegeta. I think you can play with all the characters because when I was playing it, you do this thing where you build like relationships and the other characters get boost by you putting their tokens in some kind of shit. If I put your tokens with Goku, you'll get certain boost by being connected to Goku, as if we put all those same tokens with fucking Gohan, you get different boosts from all being connected to Gohan. Like, it's like the more characters you unlock. I only played it for like maybe 45 minutes or an hour, and I should get back into it. But I started playing 2K again. Well, not necessarily playing. I like to simulate franchises and try to build successful organizations over the course of 80 years. I try to simulate franchises, properly trade. Like, it's timing. I hate when I trade a player when I'm like, oh, he's done. This nigga's washed. All right? He's on a decline. And then I trade them to another team, and all of a sudden they win MVP. Like, they do way better than they were doing on my team. But it's usually like because I have by that point, by the time I'm like 10 years in, my team is so stacked because I fucking properly do draft picks and all that shit and properly go through and I sign young fucking players to relatively bigger contracts than the minimum contracts they would be if they have at least like a B+ in potential. And then you can send them niggas to fucking the G League, you don't even have to play them. So when I think they actually like gain more experience from spending that first year in the G League. So you could draft a player like levels is like overall 70 and then send him to the G League. And if he has like let's say you draft a player with A plus and he's 70 when you get him, you send him to the G League for the whole season. You simulate that season. Like by the end of the season, he might be like fucking overall 80 fucking or plus. All right. And you're like, oh shit, why didn't you just play that player because he wouldn't have leveled up. He wouldn't have got the same fucking time. In the G League, he's playing like 30 plus minutes a game in his simulation. But as opposed to being on the main roster, even though he has that high potential, he's not naturally going to get that much time, or he wouldn't even be that effective at his current overall. So then when you play him in the next year, he will then, if your team makes the playoffs and you don't play that player in the playoffs, then when you play him in the next season, he'll be a rookie that year. Because then he'll actually progress again after, this is why I find it very interesting. Then he'll progress again from just naturally playing, like once the season is, when you're in the postseason, when you're doing all the nonsense, the draft picks and all that, and then they do the player progression, he'll improve even more upon that. So that's how I stack my teams. I lowball these young players that they generate on there that have high potential for like 4-year contracts. I get them when they're like 20 with a B plus or higher potential. And I just stack my team that way. So by the time I'm like 10 years in, like I end up trading players who I kept before for like 5 years on fat contracts because I already got like 7 other players who are like B plus or higher that are like 5 years younger than you that can step in and do the same numbers. That's how I have that shit stacked. So I love it. But I get pretty bored after maybe 20 years because my team is so stacked. That's a nice little tangent there. So yeah, if you want to watch me play with myself, go to twitch.tv/Babylon5. I will I want to play some games. I don't know why I find this so interesting right now. Why don't I fucking stream me on Twitch? I'll be on Twitch at some point, maybe not tonight. Niggas is protesting. I'm gonna get into that a little bit, but they protesting. They going past my apartment right now, and there's a curfew in 30 minutes from when I'm recording right now. Second night of curfew at 9 p.m. It's 8:30 as I'm recording this right now, and they're going past my apartment apparently, which is heading toward where I work. And that's the beep right there. That's the buzz right now. My phone is telling me about the curfew as I'm saying it. Interesting. That was not planned out, ladies and gentlemen, but there's a curfew imposed, as you all should know, if you're American, or maybe just reading the news and watching how shit is going down. Last week, episode Streets on Fire. This episode, right now, there's 2 potential names. It was going to be called, originally I had a name, but then today I was like, well, even after a while, I was like, I don't know if I should name it that. That's kind of aggressive. So there's 2 working titles for today, which are Don't Record Me, Help Me, and Hostile Gospel. All right? Hostile Gospel. Those are the 2 potential names. There's protests going on. Yeah, so that means I'm not gonna get to my thing here is like why I said that, it was because they're heading toward the direction of where I work, which is like that building is pretty much like first floor all glass. And I was thinking like, damn, should I put that sign back in the fucking store? I left the sign outside that says like, it's just a random sign. But they brought it inside yesterday because they closed early because they were scared that people were going to use those items to break the windows. And I left that sign out there, and now they're kind of heading that direction. They're heading that direction, unfortunately. But But I feel like they were using rocks and shit to bust other windows. And so who knows if I even have to work tomorrow? Who knows? They're heading that way. So if I hear something like, oh shit, alarms is going off, shit is going down, I'll probably stay up. Start streaming. Who knows? But probably not tonight. If you guys want to go ahead and be my patrons, go to patreon.com/Babylon5pod. I haven't uploaded a new vlog in a little bit, but I got you guys. It's coming soon. I told you last week, they're coming soon. I just kind of want to, I'm doing some things in life. I just want to, get them right for you, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to get them right. Can I get them right for you? If I want to get them right, let me get them right for you. Am I a fucking hypocrite, ladies and gentlemen? Am I a hypocrite? All right. Let me know. Tell me right now. Am I a fucking hypocrite? I felt like, so once this whole coronavirus thing started for you guys, I feel like it started months ago. Months before before it started for you guys, it was already a thing for me. So I was at different levels of where I was of my thought process, as most people in America. And so through this, I've decided to like naturally it's just like, I was talking to my friend Heidi and we were talking about like through this, you start to see like certain people you want to keep in your life. It's starting to see clear. And I see a lot of people posting this, like how easy it was to like really see who the people you wanted in your life are, And I feel like even if you don't agree with me, if you disagree with me, you definitely then see the same, that maybe I'm not the kind of person that you want in your life naturally. Because the views were too deep, it's too real for shit like that. So I was like, man, I felt like I was cutting people off, unfollowing niggas, you know what I'm saying? I'm not finna fuck with these niggas. Y'all are like, just whatever, man. If you're scared to stay home, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like all for like keeping this nation closed for however fucking long. Keep it closed for a year, nigga. I don't care. Keep it closed till these niggas tell me they have a fucking vaccine. I don't care, nigga. Shut more shit down, nigga. That's how I feel. I feel like too much shit is open right now, honestly. But am I a hypocrite, my nigga? Because my gym, the gym that I used to train at, that I used to train jiu-jitsu at, I checked out Red Schaefer's MMA, as I said here on this podcast, but I used to train at Neutral Ground, and I fucks with Neutral Ground. I miss it so much. And just like naturally with all this shit, I was like, fuck, I wish I could train. I've been doing like UFC trainer. I'm on this 30-day endurance workout plan. This is the last week of it, last 4 exercises on it. I was pretty intimidated actually before, but now I'm pretty good. I was like beasting out these push-ups like I've never done before in my life. But I was pretty hype. I was like, oh shit, nigga. Oh, getting in the back, like had proper form, nigga. I had proper form with that shit. I was like, oh shit, Jermaine. All right, Jermaine. The real ass shit right here, you know what I'm saying? So at the same time, I mean, even with it, it has like certain drills that I've done with jiu-jitsu, which is interesting, except for like with the Wii, which I use it for. Sometimes the Wii doesn't register my movements. Sometimes like when I'm doing front raises, I lift them up to where I'm supposed to, but I have to like lift them all the way up above my head before it registers that I lifted the Wiimote. And it's just like in the front lunges, it only registers my front lunges on one side, on the right side. It doesn't register my front lunges on the left side. And then the back lunges, it only registers on the left side and it doesn't register on the right side. And I'm not sure. It's just like certain exercises, it gets real weird to register. So it's kind of frustrating. But at the same time, it's a good ass workout. I love the combinations and the boxing and all the shit that they have in there, the striking. with the fucking. Sometimes that doesn't register and that pisses me off because otherwise I get like perfect and then it unlocks like new drills. But it's like if it doesn't register, I'll do the jab, cross, hook, knee. I'll be doing it all perfect and then it just fucking doesn't register. Like I'll be having great timing. I try to do it in rhythm, you know what I'm saying? But anywho, am I a hypocrite, niggas? All right? Tell me right now, am I a hypocrite when I've been saying all this shit? We need it closed, but John Friedland, Coach White Trash, as I say in my head, never said it out loud, Coach White Trash. Well, I probably said it to my wife, but as I say in my head, Coach White Trash, John Friedland, when he fought professionally, he was John White Trash Friedland, and I've like watched some of his fights, so that's why in my head I call him Coach White Trash. They posted that Neutral Ground is opening back up starting this week, and am I a hypocrite if I'm like, fuck, dude, I want to go. I want to go so bad. I want to go so bad. I want to go. So am I a fucking hypocrite? Probably. I've already decided, though. I think I'm not going to go just yet. Not even because of my stance on it all. I'm not that fucking high and mighty, sticking to my morals type of nigga. I go back on shit all the time. What I'm saying is that I live on the east side and I thought they were opening the east side gym, but they're not. One of the homies, like, I was writing this out on the script, and one of the homies that I used to roll with at the east side gym randomly showed up at work. I hadn't seen this nigga since I stopped training at Neutral Ground. It's crazy because I, like, never see anybody that I used to roll with at Neutral Ground, and I thought that was so weird because, I don't know, I live on the east side, and I just never see anybody from Neutral, from the gym. Like around, and I mean, they live wherever, you know what I'm saying? But I thought maybe everybody lived relatively close to each other. I think some people live in River West. Naturally with what's going on, I don't spend too much time in River West. I don't really go hanging out in any neighborhoods, really. But I definitely don't spend too much time in River West anymore. So, yeah. It was ironic. He walked in and he told me, and I was like, dude, I'm so hyped. I want to go. And he was like, well, what gym are you going to? And I was like, dude, I want to go to the east side. Like, I live right down the street from it. And he's like, oh, it's not on the list. And I was like, it's not on the list. He's like, yeah, he sent an email. And because I was going to go on the website and re-sign up for Neutral Ground. And he was like, nah, he sent that email out and it's only the Bayview location and fucking the one super south side. The super south side location. I don't know, is it South Milwaukee, I think, where the other location is? Something like that. Anywho, I'm not that kind of nigga right now. It's like, damn, nigga, that's far. I ain't trying to go out there. Well, one, it's far as fuck. And then it's just one class a week. You can only do one class a week. I don't know what that really changes. But it's only one class a week. So I'm just going to wait until shit opens up more frequently and the east side gym opens up. And then I think I'm going to go back to rolling. I'm going to be on my Fred Durst. I'm going to keep rolling. You know what I just realized, ladies and gentlemen? I posted it on Facebook. I was listening to We Got. I started like coughing a little bit before I started recording, and it made me think of the song We Got. And I put it on. And back in the day, I used to think, like, I was like, well, of course Ludacris had a hot-ass verse. But this is my thing. So when people like Ludacris, Nelly, Eminem, when they do like those crew records, I kind of disregard their verse as far as who had the best verse. Because you should have the best verse. So I'm not even going to factor you in to this conversation. So that's how I always put that. Naturally, for me. You don't have to follow that. So Ludacris is already out of the conversation for who had the best verse on We Got. That's how I go on it. And I used to always think that fucking Chingy had the best verse. I used to think Chingy had the best verse. And I fucks with I-20's verse, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm all about that pistol player, cold-blooded killer. Niggas recognize my name. I dubbed the young dealer. That nigga had the fucking deepest ass fucking voice or whatever. You know what's crazy? Because I was listening to his verse, and bottom line, that mean I'm bout it. Any nigga want it, doubt it. I heard that, and I was like, and I remember that I was looking through my Facebook memories, and I wrote like maybe 2 years ago that gangster rap is horrorcore. And I was like, yes, nigga, yes it is. Yes, young Jermaine. 28-year-old Jermaine, yes. It is horrorcore. Gangster rap is horrorcore. I'm listening to this. Like, this nigga's got this super deep voice, and he's just talking about being gangster. And as a little kid, I was like, yeah, he's fucking the most hood dude in the squad. I don't know. It's like, why? What makes that dude hood? Is that he's saying these tough words? I was listening to Kweli today, and he's like, is you a wrestler or rapper? It was on Hostile Gospel. That's probably part of the reason why I might name the episode Hostile Gospel. Well, that song's just dope as fuck. But what I realized was that I was listening to 2 Chainz's verse, which he's still credited as Titty Boy, his previous moniker, and before officially changing his name to 2 Chainz, because once he started to blow up, he just changed his name to 2 Chainz, because Titty Boy, when he came back out, and it was like when he, as a solo artist, when he left the Player Circle, and he was just a solo artist, his shit was like blowing up on Hot New Hip Hop. Like everything was like very hot. And but I always thought it was weird because it was like Titty Boy, like that they're not about to put that on TV, and they're not gonna say that on the radio. And sure enough, he changed his name to 2 Chainz. But I don't know. I think it's because as I'm listening to this verse today, nigga, I was like right before I recorded this, I was like, holy shit, like 2 Chainz is going off, like, and I was like, I was like, let me read this verse because I'm not sure I know what he's saying. And he's like, hammers, jam him, snatch him, grab him, can the and fuck him, damn him, press him, man, I'm scared, I'm tear him, need him up, bake him, take him, beat him up, I hate her, eat him up, A, B, C, D, and F, shorty, you a G or what? Now it's just me and my nuts, that's all I got in this world, I'm pulling pistols out my stomach and throwing them bitches up like Earl, serving the club headshots, scattered, covered, run, scram, I'm 38, hot with a pearl handle. He was going off, all right? He was going the fuck off. And I never, read this verse, and I was like, holy shit. This nigga, that way he starts it, the hammers, jam him, snatch him, grab him, can the and fuck him, damn him, press him, man, I'm scared him, tear him, need him up, bake him, take him, beat him up, I hate her, eat him up, A, B, C, D, and F, shorties, you a G or what? Woo! Woo! 2 Chainz went off, my nigga. 2 Chainz got the best verse on We Got. I didn't know it when I was younger, and now as an adult, ladies and gentlemen, I can appreciate the lyricism in here. Young man was going off back in them days. 2 Chainz was going off. 2 Chainz is going off. I kind of paused there because, I was joking around there. And I wanted to start out a little light. Keep things light. Keep things loose. Keep things light. All right? Because the don't record me, help me. That, right, when I saw somebody post that, and I was like, damn, my boy James Burrows posted that, and I was like, holy shit, man. That's a loaded-ass statement, nigga. That's loaded, bro. Don't record me. Help me, nigga. Holy, what are you saying? now you're trying to put that pressure on citizens to fucking... Because to me, it's like, yes, man, if I'm in that situation, if I'm George Floyd, if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, George Floyd was killed about a month ago by a police officer. It's about 3 police officers, like, on him. One officer is kneeling directly on his neck for 9 minutes, and he dies there. That's the story of George Floyd. It was recorded. Yeah. And I saw that post, "Don't record me, help me." And I'm just like, that's fucking loaded. Because yes, if I'm in that situation, I would love for somebody to fucking step in and help me. Say, get the fuck off him. But I think that's how you take one dead black person and make 2 dead black people with no one being charged equally. Because I was watching this podcast, I was thinking that, and then I was watching this podcast, 23 and 1, and the guy was, and the host, Death, it's probably my favorite prison podcast. Death was talking about how the charges, you'll get like obstruction of justice and all that. If that cop, like once you, because of those charges, what you're doing, you're trying to stop a police officer from arresting him, like him, you're attacking him. He has every right to like pull out his gun and shoot you at that point. That was another point that Death was making. And it's like, dude, that's what I'm saying. That's how you easily go from 1 dead black person to 2 dead black people if you get involved, if you intervene. And man, I wrote these notes throughout the week, but like through the past couple days, it seems like these things are almost irrelevant. I mean, I wrote it here. It's interesting that the cop who kneeled directly on his neck, he and George Floyd, they were bouncers, co-workers at the same nightclub or restaurant for 17 years, apparently. All right, they knew each other. They worked together for 17 years. A random little tidbit there. Only 1 officer was charged out of the... There's new footage of... it shows him in the car, and they're beating him in the car from both sides. They got both doors open, and they're beating George Floyd while he's handcuffed in the car. And I guess maybe he, like, rolled out on one side before the one officer runs over, and then they fucking, like, are on him on the ground. That's when they kneel on him and murder him after they were beating him in the car. It's all on this CTV footage from the store that was right there. It was all from their security camera. So that's there. He was charged with 3rd-degree murder and 2nd-degree homicide and 2nd-degree manslaughter. It was 3rd degree because with the just original footage of the young lady, just with the footage of him kneeling on George Floyd, they would say you couldn't prove that it was premeditated. But with the footage of them beating him, which came out after he was charged, you would say it's kind of premeditated. You know what I'm saying? I think that's 1st-degree murder right there. And most likely, he's gonna beat the murder charge and possibly do fucking 10 months, if that, maybe a year or 2 for the 2nd-degree manslaughter. And that's why there's protests going on all over America right now. It's going on right here in Milwaukee. That's why we have the curfew going on. There was like 60 plus people arrested last night for being out for curfew or looting, doing all kinds, rioting. There's curfew going on right now for the 9 o'clock, which starts in 9 minutes from when I'm recording this right now. 20 plus businesses were damaged last night, so there's another curfew tonight. Only 1 cop was charged in this situation here, which there's 3 cops leaning on him, there's 4 cops there at the scene, and I feel like they should all be charged. There's a video where the young lady, there's a nurse that off-duty nurse that tries to check his pulse, and they scold the nurse on being professional because they were trying to do their job and they murdered this person. Well, this person was seeing that clearly this person, while they're kneeling on him, he's saying how he can't breathe and explaining all like he's in pain because they're just beating the shit out of him. So they're not getting off of him. He's saying how like he's explaining, because when I heard it, before I saw the footage of them beating him, and they were saying like he's talking about how like his face, his fucking, he can't breathe, his body hurts. He's just saying like his whole body hurts. He's saying all these different parts of him hurt. And I thought that was weird. And they were trying to say like, oh, he died, he had a heart condition. And it's like, dude, he's on the ground saying he can't breathe because you're on his neck. And he's saying like his stomach and all this shit hurts because you guys are just beating the shit out of him. And he sees that he's being recorded. He's saying all this shit, hopefully, that if he's able to survive this shit. This is all evidence of what happened, but he wasn't able to survive, unfortunately. So when you say the whole, don't record me, help me, like, one thing that Death in the 23 in 1 podcast or YouTube channel was talking about was, so like the girl who was recording that recently, she was saying how she's traumatized from the footage. It's like you see it happen in the videos, but the thing is like you see people getting arrested, you see people being violated, and he's like, if you're recording that, you're probably from a stance like it's not going to actually happen. You know, you're recording it and you're like, they're not actually going to kill this person, but then it happens, you know, and you just happen to be the person there recording it. And like, it's like, don't record me, help me, but you don't know that things are going to escalate to that extent. You don't know that that's going to happen until it happens. So that's a loaded statement there, and I think it's kind of misguided because Jesus Christ, like, what are you trying to encourage here? And now we have these riots. I've seen videos, all right? There's videos of cops, like, just punching people, punching women in the face. Like, shit's getting wild out here, man. If you guys definitely, you gotta be seeing these videos. You gotta be. There's cops who are just driving through protesters. It's all kinds of shit going on, man. All kinds of shit going on here in America. Meanwhile, COVID-19 is still going on. But we got all these mass protests going on all over America, man. It's wild. It's weird. Every time this shit happens, it's a weird vibe because, you know, I live in Wisconsin, you know what I'm saying? It's a majority white area. And, you know, it's like naturally these people, everyone knows where I am by looking at me. They know where I am on the side of these national issues. They already know before having a conversation with me. But then it's like, even if you like see people on Facebook posting certain things or people in the world saying certain things, in reality saying certain things, you don't know that they actually stand by these words, that they actually are for this, or they're just not trying to like seem this way in public. You don't know if these are real allies, but I know that like you already know that I'm hurt by these situations before you even talk to me. You already know what's on my heart before you even talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just awkward sometimes. I remember when I worked at Whole Foods, there was this one security guard there who was talking to me about Mike Brown and was calling him a thug and was saying how like he was charging at that officer and blah, 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 saying all this fucking crazy shit to me. And I'm just like, in my head, like, am I not black? Can he not see me right now? Like, can he not see me right now? Like, he should already know where I am on the side of this fucking conversation. And I couldn't believe this nigga was saying this shit to me. Like, I could not believe it. But that conversation was happening, nigga. So, it's just always uncomfortable because I feel like you should already know what side of this I'm on naturally. Fucking weird. It's just weird, man. It always gives me a real uncomfortable vibe, man. It just always gives me an uncomfortable vibe. So there's been peaceful protests everywhere, and I've seen footage, what I was saying, of these cops hitting people. They're shooting like fucking, there's like they're shooting like rubber bullets fucking at people. There's videos of like news reporters, news crews getting fucking shot up with rubber bullets. news reporters, black news reporters, getting arrested, and then they take his microphone and hand it to the white guy who's standing next to him, and they take the black guy off. All kinds of shit like that. That's what's happening. That's why they're protesting, and then it's happening like all on live TV. But even like niggas like John Cusack was saying niggas came at him when he was in Chicago filming some shit. Said niggas came at him with batons. I didn't even watch the video. I'm like, nigga, John Cusack, get the fuck, what are you there for, nigga? Who the fuck is he that rapist, nigga? Isn't John Cusack that fucking, didn't he like rape little boys or something? I think so. I could be talking about the wrong nigga. I'm so sorry if I am, but I swear, no, that's not the right nigga. Never mind. I'm thinking of that nigga from that, like, what's that show, House of Cards? That's the nigga I'm thinking of. I thought he was the House of Cards nigga. He's not the House of Cards nigga. He's the 16 Candles nigga. I never seen that movie. But maybe you niggas seen that movie. He's the 16 Candles nigga. Oh, he was in Hot Tub Time Machine. That's all I know him from. I think as I'm looking at this fucking shit, this list of movies this nigga did, he was in The Paperboy? The Paperboy, that's a fucked up movie. That's a weird ass movie. I didn't understand that whole scene with Matthew McConaughey and them dudes in that hotel. I was like, what's going on here? Like when Zac Efron came, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And then it just like kept going, like, well, how long is? And it was like, whoa, hold on, what the fuck was going on in that whole? I don't even understand what was going on here. I'm being real vague, but that movie's wild, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm looking at it on fucking Google, and niggas is saying it's got like a 50%. It's got like less than 50% on some of these people. On some of these other ratings, but I think it's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. Anywho, John Cusack, not the nigga from House of Cards who was a child molester, not him. The nigga from 16 Candles and Hot Tub Time Machine was talking about, he was in Chicago and niggas came at him just because he was recording. They're fucking pelting motherfuckers for recording. They got this curfew going on. I've seen videos. If you're seen outside, they got the National Guard. They got paintball guns. They're shooting you with paintball guns, yelling, get inside the house. Get inside. And they'll spray you with paintballs. Some wild shit. From what I've seen pictures and posts where it'll be peaceful protests. And then the cops like are coming in with plain clothes in some situations. People have been called out, been caught, named for like who they actually are, and they're police officers in plain clothes, hiding their identities, breaking windows, like setting fires, doing all kinds of shit. All right? When I was a conspiracy theorist and I was saying like all this shit's going on, people were like, yo, you're crazy, bro. Nothing, the government's not trying to And I seen all these people say like these posts, and they'll say like, recently it's a lot like, how do they have the soldiers out here dressed up this way? How do the cops dressed like super soldiers? I seen one that was like, how do you have cops dressed like Avengers, but you can't dress doctors like doctors? And it's like, because when I was conspiracy theorist, I was saying they were preparing for this. I was saying there's videos you can watch right now of like them doing, the National Guard doing these drills in fucking Chicago. There's videos you can watch where the National Guard's going door to door, like checking on people. This is you can watch all these videos. Back in the day, I was just a crazy conspiracy theorist, and now here it is. I was saying when the coronavirus started, I was saying to my coworker that I was like, with all these glass windows we have at the store, this shit's gonna be busted open instantly. And they're headed that way right now, ladies and gentlemen. They're headed that direction. Hopefully not. I'd like to go to work tomorrow, actually. I'd like to do it. I gotta put in the order. But yeah. It's peaceful protesting all over it's evidence of cops like escalating the situation, making it more violent. Even the cops who are in uniforms are spraying people with mace, shooting rubber bullets, like just until the people go crazy and then they start rioting. They start riots is what the evidence is showing. And now there's curfews everywhere. Even with all the, like, why aren't they're putting more officers in the streets, even though that is clearly the cause of all the problems right now. Like, they're escalating, and in the video is showing they're still now punching women in the face, escalating situations, and I don't know. And they feel like the best course of action is more police presence in the streets. I don't think you're doing it right. Trump tweeted about setting dogs on protesters like back in the old days, aka civil rights movement. He wants to set dogs on the protesters like back in the good old days. I just read this fucking affidavit for Trump and Jeffrey Epstein about their rape fucking case. And it's about, I think it's with the documentary on Netflix. It's a lot of heavy shit on Netflix, so I'm trying to take my time before I even dig into that. But I'm reading through this affidavit, and it's like this 13-year-old girl was talking about how, like, on 4 different occasions, like, Trump knew she was 13, and he would always initiate sexual contact with her, and then on the last time, he fucking just tied her up to a bed and fucking viciously rapes her. She's screaming, begging him to stop. He's like fucking smacking her in the face with a fucking open palm, screaming that he'll do whatever the fuck he wants to her. Then afterwards, President Donald Trump tells her that if she says anything if she tells anyone about what happens, then, like, she and her family will be severely harmed, if not killed, is what Donald Trump says to this person in the affidavit for their rape case in 2016. That's your president tweeting about setting dogs on protesters like the good old days. And I'm reading this affidavit on his fucking disgusting child rape case. That's your president, my nigga. You motherfuckers, that's your president. And you guys I keep seeing that people are still defending everything he's doing. You're fucking nuts, man. This guy is disgusting. All right? He's fucking disgusting. New York's trying to make it a crime to make false reports on black people, make it a hate crime. I mean, it's always been a hate crime. It's been a hate crime this whole time. It shouldn't just be a meme. That should have been a hate crime the whole time, everywhere, nationwide. Because it is. You're calling a lynch mob. I feel like when the little boy with the sword was killed, the officer should have been charged and sentenced. And the lady who called the police on that little boy while saying, yeah, I'm pretty sure he has a toy. Why are you calling the cops on him? Why are you calling the cops on him? Because he's a little black boy. That lady should be arrested and charged and sentenced to a lengthy sentence, if that means anything. I feel some type of way. I'm going to switch it up and try to talk about UFC, some fights, but I just feel some type of way, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of getting heated. I don't want to talk too much about that, but it's like, how do you not, my nigga? Shit's going on. I kind of feel like a bitch-ass nigga at the same time because I'm not going out there and protesting with niggas. So I kind of feel like a bitch-ass nigga, but I'm just definitely not gonna do it. I ain't finna be out here getting arrested. I saw this nigga post that he was like, I can't be out there because I can't go to jail because if I see some bullshit, I'm going to intervene. And I'm like, exactly, nigga. Exactly. All right? I don't want to be out there. Plus, like, niggas curfew. Niggas is getting arrested, nigga. Niggas is getting arrested just for being out there. It's wildin', man. I feel like they should shut the curfew down and remove the National Guard because I think increasing police presence is actually doing the opposite of what they want to happen. It's not going to calm down by increasing police presence, in my personal opinion. But what do I know? Just a random ass nigga. So Jon Jones, with the whole feud about him trying to fight Francis Ngannou and the UFC not wanting to pay him anymore to fight Francis Ngannou, he's like, Dana White was like, yo, he's lying. Ask him to take a lie detector test. Like, and let's see who passed. We'll both take lie detector tests. So Jon Jones is saying that Dana White's lying then, and he's trying to like even further tarnish his reputation. And Jon Jones is saying like he never asked for any amount of money. He said he wanted more money, yes, but he never threw out a number and never mentioned Deontay Wilder, Diante, a real nigga, Deontay Wilder, not Deontay, the nigga that you saw got beat up by Tyson Fury. I'm talking about a real nigga, Diante, Deontay Wilder is a real nigga. Dana White said he tried to say that he wanted what Deontay got. And then Jon Jones starts to spell Deontay's name this way and say, like, I never mentioned this person's name. And he's telling Dana to publish these tweets or these texts. Because Dana was like, we got the text, man. I could share these and post these online, but I'm not going to do that. Like, blah, blah, blah. He says that Jon Jones says, go ahead and share them. He's like, you're already trying to, like, he's like, if they're real, like, share these fucking texts. And he's like, release me from my contract. Like, he's sure other people would find, like, appreciation in him since they seem like, because he says, like, because of his, him being arrested all the time, they're undervaluing him because of all the shit that happens outside of the octagon. So he's like, go ahead and release me, and I'm sure like another company will appreciate me. And he's saying today that like he's relinquishing the light heavyweight championship apparently because of these pay issues. And I'm like, this shit is escalating very quickly, my nigga. Escalating very quickly. Jon Jones says he's relinquishing his light heavyweight championship. I don't know. I think that makes the division a little more interesting. Let's get him out of there. I would like to see Jon get the fuck out of the UFC, not because I love Jon Jones. He's one of the reasons why I watch MMA. As I've said here, niggas naturally, because you can, if Jon Jones went to Bellator, I'm pretty sure they would pay him way more than he's getting at the UFC, and then he would be able to wear his shorts with like 1,000 sponsors on it and probably make way more from his sponsors than he's making to fight. Or nah, because, well, he's a superstar, so he's making millions. But he still I feel like, as I'm saying, fighters have the potential to make way more money in other organizations other than UFC when they have that fucking exclusive Reebok contract, which is almost up, and I hope they don't redo it. I hope they don't go with another company at all, man. Just fucking let these fighters earn a decent living. All right, Dana? Let your fighters earn a living. Why not that? Let's try that for a second. Let's try it out again. Let's try it out, man. Let's see what happens. Let's let them fucking maybe put a like no vulgar things or some shit like that on there. But like let these people earn a living, man. Darren Till versus Robert Whittaker, July 25th on Fight Island. I'm not actually that interested. I seen people post, they're like, oh, this is about to be a real good fight. It's like, dude, I don't know. Personally, I feel like Robert Whittaker is just going to run through Darren Till. I don't think it's going to be that competitive, but other people feel like, oh, it's going to be a really exciting fight. I think Robert Whittaker will run through Darren Till. All right? So UFC Vegas, this past weekend, they just returned to the Apex, fought in a smaller octagon with no crowd, really, no audience. There's a few people sitting around, like judges and officials, random people sitting around, but no audience. I love it. I love the small audience. I love the no audience. I love the small octagon. People couldn't really like get away from the action. It was like the fights were really good in this smaller octagon because it wasn't a lot of like you weren't able to really run from somebody. They were pretty much like always in your face. I'm all for this small octagon shit. Jamal Hill, I was saying like his fight might be the fucking fight of the night, but he finished that dude so fast that no, it couldn't be fight of the night. It could be like finish of the night, but like performance of the night. But that fight wasn't. It was like maybe less than. Was it a minute? He fucked that dude up. He fucked that. I don't know who he fought. I didn't put it in the notes, but he fucked that dude up real quick. And they were saying he apparently called out Jon Jones before he was even in the UFC. So he looked like a beast. They were saying they showed how he was doing these nasty knees. And won his last fight. He came in with these nasty knees again, these real quick, sharp knees, and got him out of there quick. It was pretty good fight. He looks like a beast at 205. And if Jon Jones is out of there, I don't think it'll ever happen. But if he's saying if he's actually out of there, that would be real interesting at the 205. Just see some new people fighting for the belt, man. Let's just see some new action. Antonina Shevchenko took on Caitlin Chookagian. Caitlin Chookagian, previous fight was against Valentina Shevchenko, and she got completely dominated. She's taking on the older, less skilled sister, Antonina Shevchenko. Antonina looks like the opposite of Valentina. Valentina is in my opinion, I think Valentina is the best fighter in the world. She's great everywhere, all right? Antonina gets taken to the ground in the first and just fucking completely beat up. But she was just beat up for like 4 minutes straight, 4.5 minutes. And maybe with like the last 10 seconds, she was able to like get back to her feet. And it was like, all right, that should be a confidence boost. And it was like, whatever. She starts the second round with a very, in my opinion, very questionable axe kick. She starts with an axe kick and then gets taken down and destroyed on the ground. At this point, she's taken close to 130 strikes. At this point, 120 strikes, like after 2 rounds. And then in the third, like Shevchenko stood up with her, and Shevchenko was like actually landing more. But like at the same time, when Chookagian would land, she was like rocking her because she just beat the shit out of her for 10 minutes straight, just pounding her face in, just beating up Shevchenko, like as revenge for her younger sister beating the shit out of her in the last fight. And then in the final 2 minutes, Chookagian takes Shevchenko down and just fucking unloads on her, just more like of a beating. And at the end of that fight, she landed 202 strikes on Valentina Shevchenko. She beat the shit out of strikes on Antonina Shevchenko, not Valentina. That would never happen. She landed 202 strikes on Antonina Shevchenko. Beat the shit out of Antonina Shevchenko, all right? I didn't understand when they booked the fight, I was like, all right, whatever. But then as it like showed up and it was like Antonina's is ranked number 12 and Chookagian is ranked number 2, I was like, who the fuck booked this? You would never book a fight like this. This is not how this goes. But they put the nigga, I'm here, nigga, I'm home. They're still sending me notifications about the curfew. But like, yeah, she got her ass beat. Forgot what I was saying. But Chookagian, I feel like, took revenge on the beating she got because she tried to put her in the crucifix, which was the exact position where she got finished from Valentina. So, yeah, Antonina got fucking dominated. She looked like the opposite of Valentina in there. And I always thought she was I never thought she was that good. And I wasn't a fan of who booked the 12 versus the 2. I felt like that was pretty stupid. But, yeah. So let's get to the main event here. Main event. Fucking Gilbert Burns versus Tyron Woodley. I was a big Woodley fan. I am a big Woodley fan. I realized how much of a Woodley fan I was after this fight. So what I guess I had heard it. Now that I think about it, I saw an interview with Kamaru where he mentioned it, but I didn't really pay too much attention to it. So I didn't really take too much notice to the fact that Tyron Woodley was fighting Gilbert Burns, who trains with Kamaru Usman, who in Tyron Woodley's last fight, Usman completely, who's the champion now, completely shut down Woodley's offense. You know what I'm saying? Like no one ever came close to. So the first round starts and Tyron is trying to strike and let off some offense. He's not necessarily trying to be timid to start the fight, but he gets knocked down and fucking Burns is just all over him. He's just hitting him with these heavy shots and he cuts him early and Burns blitzed him. He just blitzed him, almost finished him in the first round, but I think the ref just like saved him. And Woodley looks like completely defeated going into his, like after the first round, he looks defeated already. Confident, like coming into the fight, he was like so ready to go. He was actually trying to go at Burns, but then that happened. He got dropped and almost finished, and he looked pretty defeated after that round. And then he gets completely dominated for the next 2 rounds. His corner's trying to convince him that he can win, but they're not really trying to offer any advice. They're trying to just like talk him into the fact that he can still win this fight. There's no real advice on what he could do there, which is interesting. This is the Dean Thomas and Duke Rufus, if I'm not mistaken. Burns drops Woodley in the 4th for a second time, dropped him again. He's just like all over him with the strikes. I was listening to the Weasel explain what happened, and what I think is interesting is that Tyron Woodley was calling out Israel Adesanya for the future fight, but the thing that really fucked Woodley up in this fight was that apparently Gilbert Burns was constantly, like I want to rewatch this fight, Gilbert Burns was constantly feinting, just coming forward and feinting, and Woodley was biting hard. He was reacting to every single feint. He was either like retreating or doing something in reaction to the feint. And there's nobody who uses their feints better than Israel Adesanya, who's fucking 6'4", Woodley's 5'9", and he's calling out fucking Adesanya, and he fucking had no idea how to handle those feints. And yeah. So I think it's interesting that he's calling out Usman. So he drops him again in the 3rd. In the 4th, the 5th, he just completely dominates him. And Gilbert Burns is a problem, all right? He was a 6. He just beat the 1, and he's a fucking problem, all right? Gilbert Burns is a problem. He beats Tyron Woodley by unanimous decision. And Burns calls for a matchup with his teammate Kamaru Usman in July. Looking at Woodley's face as they announced Gilbert Burns as the winner, I had an odd feeling of sadness seeing Woodley standing there. That's when I realized how much of a fan he was, because I was like, fuck, like, is this Woodley's last fight, dude? Fuck, dude. I don't want him to go out like that, you know? Woodley was a beast, man. I was a big fan of Woodley. When he lost to Usman, it fucking blew my mind, dude. It blew my mind when he lost to Usman. I didn't see that coming at all. And not in that way. And now he just got pretty much dominated for fucking 50 straight minutes. That's what's happening. He took it. For the last 2 fights, we were 5-round fights, and he went all 5 rounds and just got dominated in all 10 rounds. He just got dominated, man. It's sad to see one of your favorites go out like that, man. It's unfortunate, but I saw Woodley post today that he has this uncanny calm for someone who like just got their ass beat. And he just feels like at peace right now, but he says he's not going to retire and he'll be back, but he's 38 and he says he's at peace with everything. And I hope he's not done. I think he can still. I hope he trains with. I would love for him to go and train with Usman. Go train. I think him linking up with Rashad Evans would really do a lot for his like mental blocks if there's anything there. I think he should go train with Usman. Like there's people like Alistair Overeem, who's known to go and train with people after he loses to them. I think he could learn a lot from training with that camp. I think he should go train with Kamaru Usman, especially if he wants to move up to 185. I feel like that's still an option for him to go and train with Usman and move up to 185. He doesn't necessarily have to even fight Gilbert Burns or Usman again. He could go train both of those guys. I think that would be really good for him. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the social medias and get on up out of here, my knuckle. If you want to follow the podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You can follow my personal account at My Name's Jermaine. You can email the podcast at Babylon5podcast@gmail.com. You can follow this podcast at Babylon5.podbean.com. You can listen to this podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, nigga, pretty much anywhere podcast stream. If you got Xbox One, go ahead and add it, brother. My gamer tag is SauceBoss414. If you want to check out the merchandise, it's teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. If you want to watch me play with myself, it's twitch.tv/BO or twitch.tv/Babylon5. And then you guys should go ahead and be my patrons. Why not? It's patreon.com/Babylon5pod. It's episode 41. I'm probably going to call it Hostile Gospel instead of Don't Record Me, Help Me, because that's just an aggressive statement. Maybe I'm not going to do that one there. All right? Not going to do that one. All right, you guys stay safe out here, man. It's crazy times. Shit escalated quickly, but we're here. No justice, no peace, I guess. I don't know. Everybody stay safe, man. There's still coronavirus going on, man. Protests are cool and all that if you feel like you need to be out there, but there's definitely still a fucking infectious disease going on out here. So like, let's be mindful of that. Yeah. So you guys be safe. No matter how you choose to go about things right now, make sure you're being safe and checking in on your loved ones. All right, you guys have a good week. I'll see you next week. Peace.